Hi, I'm Jeremy. Today I wanted to talk about, I think this is going to be an extremely reoccurring topic, political corruption, their lack of accountability. Stadiums specifically this time, this one looks like a donut. I don't know why you would, of all the things, why would that be it? So
Sir, we're gonna take these funds for the old town road.
yeah, that's exactly what they're going to do. So I came across a video called Welfare for the Rich from the YouTube channel called John Stossel. That's his name. And yes, there's a lot of corruption with the way how politicians get money, raise money, the names that they give them. So, for an example,
Helping Hero sounds like
the Heroes Act.
Helping Hero sounds like a good idea.
The House just passed the Heroes Act.
So our government doled out.
the Heroes Act. How do they get away with this? How do they get away with this? It's just one lie on top of another lie.
Almost $1 trillion.
And where did she send that money? 350 million went to America's
350 million for 50 richest zip codes. What?
richest zip codes.
There was no means test. There was no questioning what.
So, no means test. In other words, they weren't even asked, are you in need? They were asked absolutely nothing. They weren't asked, how much money do you have? What zip code do you live? Oh, you live in a really rich part of town. What kind of job do you have? They asked absolutely nothing.
Well, how are you doing? How is your city budget right now?
Lisa Conyers co-wrote Welfare for the Rich.
Welfare for the rich. Before I forget, I may look into this one. I don't have time, but if I can.
A book explaining how your tax dollars end up in millionaires' pockets.
I ended up
Millionaires. Millionaires. They're the ones who need it.
traveling around the country for 4 years,
4
looking
years.
at state budgets and federal budgets and saying, wait a minute, what did we just pay for?
Well,
This is exactly what happened with Biden's COVID relief bill with that, how many trillions was it? $9 trillion? And all this money that they had, millions go to the Bill Gates Foundation, to Mark Zuckerberg, Tesla, Elon Musk. These guys have more money than they know what to do with. I mean, they give so much of it away, but yet they're still getting even more money. When am I going to get this? When am I going to get millions? When are you going to get millions? Why? Why does this? This should not be happening at all. Just not at all.
Gonna buy a ton of black asphalt. We're gonna take these funds for the old town road. We're gonna pave and also fix potholes.
This is a parody right here. This is called Remy, Old Town Road. It's a parody of Little Nas and Billy Ray Cyrus's video there. It's from Reason TV. But man, is this just not applicable right now? 100%.
Or we could take these funds for the old town road and maybe build a brand new stadium. Sir, it's our
That's exactly what they do. This is exactly 100% what politicians do over and over and over and over and over again. They give it some kind of name, the Heroes Act. They say, we're going to use it for something, and then they all put their hand into that cookie jar. Now, if they're smart, they don't just take it and put it in their pocket. They give it to their constituents, for the people who help get them into office. So their constituents get these funds, and then the constituents then take some of those funds and apply it towards their candidates' campaigning, and just kind of whatever else. I mean, it's like they can do what they want with that campaign money to a degree. And so if they want to buy a few things, it's like, well, yeah, because part of it is their salary that they live off of. And you can't do 50 billion different things. You know, this is their job. So as always, I'm not trying to change anyone's mind with anything. I'm just trying to show one thing, and that there is lying that is going on, and it's rampant, and I don't care if it's intentional or not. I'm tired of it. I'm fed up with it. I know how to deal with it. So if you too are fed up with all the lies, and you want it to stop so we can have a better life, all of us, because lying hurts everyone, then give this video a like, give it a thumbs up, become a member. Got Patreon, subscribe star. Let's go ahead and take a look into this more. So, why do taxpayers pay billions for football stadiums? And I will have links in the description below for all of these videos so you can watch them in their entirety, all that you want.
Google Fi, a phone plan by Google. It's easy to switch to Fi from the comfort of your
stadiums. And if every year over 100 million people.
This one is, why do taxpayers pay billions for football stadiums? And this one is from Fox.
Will gather around their televisions, surrounded by loved ones, to than not played in a new state-of-the-art stadium with supersized digital displays, retractable roofs.
Why? 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 Well, why do we need this? What does this do? What do retractable roofs and these huge screens, what do they have to do with the damn thing? Do you think that these people only come for that? That they would not come if they didn't have it? What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
Box seats and suites. Teams generally earn the lion's share of the revenue from the stadium. But for 28 of the 32 teams, it's the taxpayers in the team's host city who paid to build it.
Why? Why? Why?
The privately owned teams earn the stadium's revenue. Why are they built with public money?
Because they give it fancy names. The
Heroes Act.
Helping.
The Heroes Act. This isn't helping any heroes with nothing.
They're able to take money out.
Politicians gave billions to governments already flush with cash.
Who wouldn't like to play Santa Claus? Who wouldn't like to just be able to give everybody some money?
Where's my money? Where's my money? They're getting millions. You know what? For most people out there, it was what, $2,000? What am I supposed to do with that? I can't even wipe my butt with that. Prices keep going up. It's like, get out of town with that crap. Here's this video. Another one from Reason TV. From John Stossel again. He kind of does both. Well, actually, I don't know if he's still doing Reason TV or not. But Super Bowl welfare.
This is our moment. Our Super Bowl moment.
America's most watched sporting event. Atlanta's politicians are excited that
The world's best come to. We'll turn on the lights and put on a show.
Why? I don't care.
and pay for part of that show with their tax.
Georgia taxpayers pay up to $700 million for a new NFL stadium. Why are the taxpayers paying for this? What the hell does any sport have to do with the government? Why is there this monopoly, this special treatment? Well, this should not be going on for any industry. But that's kind of the recurring problem, is that none of these politicians are held accountable or responsible for anything. So here's a video from Tim Pool. Democrats accused of exposing themselves to women and children.
Is once again in the news, this time because she said no words on Twitter. They said that because she is not the major trending. Live in Minnesota, he lives in Wisconsin, but he represents Minnesota. People are upset.
This guy doesn't live in Minnesota. He lives in Wisconsin. But somehow he's a Minnesota representative. I'm pretty sure you can't do that anywhere. So,
About that. This is not the major breaking news. A true test of our democracy. 8 months in prison. These actual domestic terrorists either get real.
And then here he's talking about how what happened with the Capitol riot terrorists and how they get into trouble, but these others don't. So I've pulled an article here, and I'm just going to read it for you. This is from Fox News or Fox9.com, Fox9KMSP. Title of the article is Search for Minnesota Lawmakers Residency Uncovers Domestic Assault Cases. St. Paul, Minnesota. In search for State Representative John Thompson's residency, Fox 9 has uncovered 4 cases of domestic violence with allegations Thompson punched, hit, and choked women, according to the police reports from 03 to 09. And with some of these things, it happened in front of little kids. That's great. Oh, what an outstanding citizen. Questions about Thompson's residencies were raised after he was stopped by St. Paul police on the 4th for not having a front plate. Thompson, who accused the police of racially profiling him. How is that racially profiling? Do all people of color not have a front plate for some reason? No, you got pulled over because you didn't have a front plate. You know how you don't get pulled over for not having a front plate? You put a front plate on. That's how you not get pulled over for having a front plate. Did you have a front plate or not? Oh, you didn't? Okay, then that's why you're getting pulled over. I'm tired of the lies. I'm just fed up with it. You know, it's like I'm not going to recognize trans people because it's a lie. There is no man and no woman that can change their X and Y chromosomes. There is no man and no woman that a man can have a uterus and start producing eggs. There's no woman who can get sperm. It can't happen. There's nothing that we can do about that. And so whenever these people do this, they're lying. Now, if they want to, and they're adults, I don't care. Do whatever the hell that you want to do. But you're not going to force me to call you a man or a woman when you're the opposite. And people say, I hate this with Tim Pool. He says, well, I can respect that. I can't. I will not respect your lies. I'm tired of it. It's because people keep giving a little and a little and a little and a little. It's like, no, my line is not going to get crossed with lying like this. I mean, there's different kinds of lies. You know, like, oh, it's your birthday? Oh, I didn't know. No, a party? What? No, you're too old for that. We're not going to do that. Or, no, yeah, sweetie, Santa Claus is coming. You know, it's like there's differences. Absolutely. And you're absolutely dumb if you don't understand that. I got nothing for you. Take a hike. So I'm not doing this. It's like you want to. Your name is Martin, but you want me to call you Mary? No, I'm not doing that. I'm not going to lie for you. I'm not going to play your little fantasy land. You know what? If I get to know you and I come over and that's what you want to do, maybe I'll do it. But you know what? I'm not. You know why? Because I'm not interested. Because I got other things to do than live in this crazy little fantasy land constantly all the time where everybody has to bow down to your wishes. You know what? If you want to dress up like a woman and you're a man or vice versa, go ahead and do it. But I'm not going to lie about anything. But I'm not going to stop you either. You're just not going to force that crap down my throat. Continuing. The domestic violence cases stretched back to October 03 in Wisconsin. He was arrested, struck his girlfriend, open and closed fist in front of a woman's 5-year-old daughter in a supermarket parking lot. Now, this was back in 2003. People change. You have to give room for forgiveness. You know why? Because no one's perfect. People do bad things. They do stupid things. It's part of being human. And we can be good people, but man, we can just have things just crumble down around us, and we do things that are dumb, that we regret. And the true sign, or at least one of the things, is that, is it something that continues, or does it stop? Little children will say that they're sorry, and that's okay for little children because they're children. They don't know better, they're learning. You got to give them some leeway. As you get older, saying sorry does not work. As an adult, you have to put your actions to meet your words. If you come up and you hit somebody, you say you're sorry and you hit them again, then that's a lie. A little kid might go up and hit their sibling, say they're sorry and do it again, and it's because they haven't quite learned to control their emotions. They haven't quite learned enough on words and vocabulary and to communicate well enough to be able to work things out smoothly. So you have to give them a little bit. You have to give them a little bit of leeway. Now, a good parent, a good adult, won't just say, well, say you're sorry. No, they should explain it. They should say, okay, well, what did you do that was wrong? Why was it wrong? And what can you do better for next time? So this happening back in 2003, it's like, well, is it anything more recent? This is 2021 right now. So if this was something that was happening in like 2019, 2018, 2017, it's like, yeah, I don't have anything for this guy. You know, and also, you know, what are some things that he's done since then to show that he's learned? Has he done the opposite things? Instead of hitting girlfriends, has he done really kind things to girlfriends? Did he do something to her to help make up for this? There is a new movie that's kind of recently out, The Tomorrow War, and it has Chris Pratt in it. And a big theme of the movie is a second chance. Whenever he's meeting his dad and he's arguing with him, especially their first meeting, it's like, completely 100% understand everything that Chris Pratt is saying. I understand that. But there's a big problem with it. Or there's several. But one of the big problems is talking about how his dad doesn't get a second chance. It's like, no, his dad's had a second chance. His dad has had hundreds of chances. You know why? Because his dad has known where they live. And he has done absolutely nothing. Walking out and abandoning your family does not get swept underneath the rug because you sent a damn Christmas card. I don't give a damn if you sent billions of them. You know where they live. You know where they're at. And if you had stayed in that family, then you would have been giving, for example, a good place to start, financial support. You would have been paying for a place to live, for clothes, food, shelter, school supplies, all this stuff. That would be a great place to start, to show that you are looking after their health and their well-being by going out and maybe giving them food and dropping it off, and buying clothes and dropping it off, or getting gift cards to clothing stores or wherever. Whenever school comes around, buying school supplies for his granddaughter. What the hell's a card? A card is nothing. Whenever he says that you are a coward and you quit, he's 100% right. He's living there like a coward in that stupid aircraft or airport hangar or wherever that place is, doing absolutely nothing, hiding from the government, being a chump. And giving a card, a Christmas card, to your granddaughter it's not a damn thing. That is doing the bare minimum, hoping for that stupid little time heals all wounds. It's like, no, it doesn't. It doesn't heal a damn thing. It just makes them fester and linger on. You know how you heal wounds? You got to be proactive with it. You got to get up off your big fat butt and go do something about it. But you know what? This guy, this Thompson guy, he's not getting in trouble for any of this. During a 2009 incident, according to reports, as the yelling escalated, Thompson pulled out his manhood in front of his girlfriend and two young children and said, "I'm the man and you can all S my D." What? What? I don't have a problem with people who want to run for office, but there needs to be some standards. It can't be any Tom, Dick, and Harry off the streets. So where's the responsibility? Where's the accountability for these people? That this guy, also in this article somewhere, part of the reason why he got pulled over was because he was driving around harassing and screaming at white people. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're a politician or a citizen. Leave people alone. You're not making anything better. You're making things worse by going around yelling at people. You know how you want to make things better? You better figure out your arguments. You better get your talking points in order. It's not this. You know, he didn't even do this to me, and it has me pissed off. I'm not going to do anything about it because it's not going to do anything. It's like if he came and we got into a fight and he beat me, it's like it's not going to change me. And if I beat him to a damn pulp, it's not going to change his mind either. Well, what does that do? So somebody gets hit in the face. What kind of knowledge partakes in that? Does getting hit in the face or anywhere raise your IQ? Increase your understanding? No. So it does nothing. And that's why I'm doing all this. This is part of it right here. I am so fed up with it.
Tired job to fix the old town road. We must ensure that... Is he even listening? I'm thinking no.
It's so funny. Enjoy. But this is what happens. You know what? The COVID, it was just an excuse to be able to screw over the economy, for politicians to raise taxes and put more people dependent on welfare. And you know what the opposite is? If you want to make people strong and you want to be able to give them all kinds of creativity, do the opposite. Get rid of this stuff. Get rid of every last bit of it. This has done nothing but hurt the economy. And people can't go out and get jobs. They can't work unless if you're a part of one of those big box companies. It's like, what makes them so special? What makes these football teams so special? Oh, bunch of rich people. That's what it is. Bunch of laziness too. Because you know what? It's easier to just go talk to a few billionaires and millionaires instead of going out there and talking to the entire population. And so what's happening is that the 1% are getting all the attention and everyone else is getting all screwed over in the process. Because they don't care, because they don't live in reality. They live in this stupid world that's protected in this glass bubble in this ivory tower. Here's another example of this nonsense.
It's going to the MTA. They need money. They're good at managing money. They're so great at managing money that they have employees that get over $400,000 a year.
Okay, so the MTA is the Metro Transportation, something like that. It's in New York City. And so the title of this video is New York City Congestion Pricing, Another Money Grab, and here's why. And this video is from the video channel of Louis Rossmann. This is this guy's name. He's really active in all this crap with these politicians screwing everybody over, taking money. Oh my goodness. Oh, this guy's, and he's really big on the Right to Repair Act, where if you have something that you can't tell me that I can't work on my phone. I bought my phone. Everything about this is mine. It's just like with my computer. If I get some kind of virus or something with my computer, it's like I need to go in and take it in. And I don't need to be ripped off by being told that I have to go in to the manufacturer and that they're the only ones who can work on it. And then they get jacked up prices. It's the same thing with cars. If you want to spend an outrageous amount of money getting your car fixed, take it into the dealership. They have the highest, most jacked up prices that you can get. You want to get a better price for your car whenever you're doing repairs? Go take it to some repair shop, to some garage somewhere. It doesn't matter. Any place is going to be better than them. And you know what? They'll say something like, well, our technicians are specially trained. It's like, they're all trained. What are you talking about? They're all trained. You know where you got that technician from? The same place all those other technicians came from. All those other people who work on car engines and brakes and all that stuff. They all just came in off the street. They filled out an application. They said, I'd like to work here. And then they got hired. And you know what? If they had some kind of training, you know what it was? It's like this much. There's a lot of people now that have jobs where they have to have continuous training. And they get this much out of it. It's a big waste. Some of it, I mean, makes a little bit more sense than others. You know, if you're in the medical field, especially if you're a doctor or a nurse and you're doing surgeries all the time, yes, it's good to take continuing courses with that. So you really kind of have it fresh in your mind. But really, you know what's better than that? It's just if you have a program where it has all the steps laid out for you. It's like, I don't care if you can remember stuff or not. Testing is a thing of the past. You know why? Because again, we have technology, we have computers. You can have the answer right there for it. You know what? I would prefer, instead of having tests for every single thing, to see what you can remember. I don't care what you can remember. I don't care if you have a photographic memory or if your thing is shot. I want everybody to be able to contribute to this, especially those who are professionals within that field, to be able to put together the SOP, the standard operating procedure for how to do anything, for how to replace the brakes, to do engine work, to do surgery. You couldn't do that before. Before it was like, yeah, you had these big things called books. You had books, and you had to memorize everything in here because you couldn't take the whole damn library in there with you. We don't have to do that anymore. It can be on these stupid little devices at touch of a button through a swipe with your finger. No. I want, instead of memorizing this stuff, I want people to learn how to use a damn computer. Because if I have to go in and I have to have heart surgery or any surgery, I don't want to risk them forgetting a step. You know, one of the things that happens a lot in surgeries is that they just leave like the gauze inside while they're doing it because they forget. And that's why one of the first things that they started to do was that just on paper, they would have a checklist. It's like, all right, you do this first, and you do this second, and you do this third. Check. And one of the things was, I've seen one story when they had the x-rays and they were showing it where the doctor was doing the surgery and somehow his watch got off his wrist and it got inside the person. Because he was doing his surgery, all the blood and guts or whatever made it slip, got in there, and he was so focused on the surgery he wasn't paying attention to himself. So it's pretty easy to solve something like that. It's like, before you go do the surgery, you remove everything. No rings, no bracelets, no watches, no nothing. So in that way, it's not even an issue. Of course, obviously, this is something that happened pretty far back. Nothing too recent, but yeah. And this is part of the problem that we have right now with lying. Is that I haven't really invented anything too magnificent. It's just I've learned to take computers and electronics. It's like we are not using these things nearly to their full potential at all. Now, the system that I have that I want to put into electronics, into the website, that's kind of unique, but it's because I was like, yep, I need this and I need this and I need this because this is going to get me to my goal, and that's the way that you do with all this stuff. So yeah, I'm fed up with this. I'm fed up with all of these people, all these politicians who keep lying. So anyways.
Yeah, that's over $35,000 a month in overtime while they're at a goddamn bowling alley. Hey everybody, how's it going? New York City has come up with a new idea on how to solve a problem. Can you guess what it is? I'm just itching to tell you. All right. They're going to take more of your money. That's right. They're going to take more of your money because the $30 to $40 billion they get per year in property taxes.
$30 to $40 billion that they take in property tax isn't enough.
It's based on insane valuations for buildings that are so expensive, so overpriced that nobody rents them is not enough.
And so I haven't seen this video that he's done, but I've seen some of them. Urban decay and how all these places in New York City are just abandoned.
High income taxes in the city compared to all of other cities in the United States.
And I was thinking about that today. In the evening, I go out and I go run, and I run around town. I do not care. I will run wherever the hell I damn well please. And I see all of these vacant lots all over the place. And I know some people who are in the real estate, and they talk about this, where there are properties out there where they are not being sold because the government will not give them up because there's back property taxes on them, and the property taxes have become worth more than what the property is. So here's an example of something like that. You have this lot. The banding got foreclosed on, it abandoned, whatever the case is. So it has this building in there. It couldn't get sold. Nobody took it, and so the building has decayed. And so really, the property is already in the negative. Because if you buy the property and you start doing work on it, then it's no longer grandfathered in. And you got to go in there and you got to tear everything up because you have rot, mildew, bugs, just all over the place. So you got to rip down the walls. So that means like the plumbing and the electrical is no longer grandfathered in. So you got to fix all this stuff, and just decay from rot from the rain and termites or whatever kind of bug or whatever else is going in there. You might as well destroy it all anyways, because it would just be a hell of a lot cheaper and quicker to just start over from scratch. So even though that building's on there, and if it was in good shape, maybe it'd be worth like $80,000. And so that's what they're appraising the tax value off of. And even if they lower it, it's like, because it's gone down in time, it's like, it's not, that is wrong. You can't keep that tax on there for the property tax whenever it was worth $80,000, because it's not worth that anymore. It's not adjusted properly. Well, we adjusted it now. It's like, but you got to go back and retrofit that because it's not the same. Nobody's going to buy that property for, like, say it goes down to $30,000. But then you have another $10,000 of property tax because it's been sitting there in some of these places for decades. And then they have to go and spend thousands of dollars to get rid of the structure that's there. And then they're left with a blank lot starting from scratch. And then they got to build up. It's like, how do you do that? How do you dig yourself out of it? But here they are. Here are all these vacant lots or abandoned properties that are exactly like that, and the government's holding on to them for no damn good reason whatsoever. Why? You know what? You would think it would be the opposite. That there should be some kind of motivation for the government to give these properties up. To say, you know what? After a certain amount of time, after the property is just worth so little, that they should just give those damn things away. So then that way, other people can come in, take them, and do something with them. So then that way, you can have some kind of property tax to help fund this stuff, because while it's sitting there doing nothing, it's doing nothing for anybody, and it's an eyesore, and it's a place where these bums and these homeless people live, and it's like, that's not an answer, because if they can't manage and they can't get it on their own, they should be put in like a community center where they're watched like babies, because that's what they are. They're babies. It's like, there was this documentary where I think it was in Canada where they made homelessness illegal, and they rounded up everyone who was homeless who wouldn't get it together, and they put them into like a senior citizens retirement community, except minus the senior citizens, and it was for these homeless people, and they were watched and they were monitored like children because they're mentally incapable of dealing with themselves. And it's because with all the money that you have to spend on the police and the processing and the jails and all the soup kitchens and the handouts and everything else that's going along, and the vandalism and the fights and the medical that they do, it's like it comes up to like $60,000 a year for taking care of these people, even whenever they're homeless on the streets. So instead of doing all that, why not be proactive, take care of these people, so then that way that they're not victims, and then they can live a healthier, safer, cleaner, better life. And the way that these people can get out of it if they wanted to is that you can have a set of challenges that they have to complete to be able to get out of that, and then they can go out and they can live on their own. And they can be whatever they want, but they should be productive things that every person should be able to do. It's like, well, one of those things could be you have to have a morning routine. You have to get up by a certain time. It's like you don't get to sleep until noon. You need to have your butt up at like 6 or 7 o'clock in the morning. You got to go to the bathroom and do your morning routine. You got to be able to do all your meals on your own. Not going out to McDonald's, not going out and having somebody else do it, but you need to learn how to cook at home because it's cheaper for you to do it at home. And since you're living on taxpayer money, you need to learn how to be self-sufficient as much as possible, living on as little as possible. And if you want more, hey, that's fine, that's great. Go out there and make yourself better. And we can do all this stuff. Instead of having a system that enables people to be worthless, we can have a system set up for productivity. But we don't. We just get all this. It's just one damn scam after another. That's all I see with the government, is that everything that they're doing is just a scam to screw people over.
The sales tax revenue, all the other licensing revenue, the small businesses they fuck over with BSDCA fines, all of that is not enough. They need more of your money. $70 to $80 billion a year is not enough in the budget to make anything make sense.
Of course not, because it's just, why? Why should they stop?
This is so exciting, look, the roof is shining. So touched by this project, I named it Joe Biden. Sir, this is dismaying.
Shining roof there. Isn't that crazy?
So they gleefully dole out your money and give a disproportionate share to rich people. For example, when the governor of Nevada
signed a bill to fund a new football stadium, Raider owner Mark Davis was there cheering the signature.
Davis should cheer.
The owner.
His team got almost $1 billion for his new stadium.
I don't have any.
Isn't it nice and shiny? Isn't it nice and shiny? It's like I don't. Did they know about this whenever they wrote this parody song? It's like I don't understand. This stupid stadium is ridiculous.
Any problem with them building a stadium? I just don't know why I have to pay for it.
Or
That's
why
right.
Taxpayers must pay for the very best.
Yeah, if they want to do it, I could care less. Why are they using taxpayer money? The government is designed for the people, by the people. Not for the rich, by the rich. Not for the government, by the government. For the people, by the people. This isn't what we're doing at all. This is just trash.
On the artistic side, we lean towards the analogy of a black sports car. It has these flowing lines.
We created the moving field.
The moving field. So this is grass, and what you're seeing, this is not the camera guy walking forward. This is the stadium on wheels rolling towards the camera.
That moves in and out of the building in one piece. Mark Davis was adamant that the Raiders would be playing on natural grass.
What are you Fine, go ahead, do it. I don't care. I don't want to pay for it. Over half of our money that we get goes to the government in some shape, fashion, or form through taxes and fines or whatever. Whenever they increase taxes, whenever they increase minimum wage, whenever they increase these programs, it makes everything more expensive. Whenever minimum wage goes up and you go out and you buy a computer, every single component on there has gone up and it keeps going up. And the transportation goes up. Part of the reason why computers are so cheap is because they're not built in the U.S. A huge amount of these components built in China or Taiwan or someplace else and not here. Because if they were made here, they would be astronomically expensive. We wouldn't be able to, I would not have one right now. And we know about this. All this stuff gets shipped overseas constantly. And then that hurts us on our jobs. It makes everything expensive. It makes it hard for people to get work. It's like, I want an abundance of jobs. I do not care about giving these rich people more of anything whatsoever. It's ridiculous.
A new NFL stadium is being built nearly every year, and their price tags are reaching into the billions. This chart shows all...
Of course. Why shouldn't they? They're not paying for them.
All the different home fields NFL teams have played.
And then they talk about how all this stuff is supposed to bring in money and revenue for the local place that they're built in, and it's like that's not what it does. Get this. Oh, man.
Premium in the Cowboys' 82,000 seat stadium, and a luxury suite can cost as much as $30,000 per game.
You can get a suite for $30,000 per game at the box there at the Cowboys Stadium. $30,000 per game. So they get the money from the taxpayers to pay the majority of the stadium by us, and then they keep all this. Where's my return on investment? You know, if we're going to pay for this, then I want some of that revenue too.
The push for new stadiums comes down to increasing profits for the owners. But cities try to meet these demands because there's more to a football franchise than the bottom line. Residents want teams and the hometown pride.
And then they don't even do anything.
That's what happened in 2016. When cities refused to build new stadiums, owners threatened to move their teams to somewhere that will.
Okay, you know what my response to that is? Bye-bye. Get the hell on out of here.
That's what happened in 2016 to St. Louis and 2017 to San Diego and Oakland. New stadiums aren't...
Oh, it's so dumb.
Money on roads, infrastructure, shopping malls, or a public park.
Things that benefit the whole public, not just football fans. For team owners, new stadiums mean millions more in profits. They sell the name of the stadium to other corporations, host the Super Bowl, and owners maximize revenue by building more and more luxury suites and club seating in the place of general admission seats. Over a third of the seats are premium in the Cowboys' 82,000.
We have built in United States, they do not provide any positive impact.
They don't provide any positive impact on the local community.
By this project, I named it Joe Biden. Sir, this is dismaying. Taxpayers are paying. Studies show these never create economic growth. What you're saying?
Studies show that they never have economic growth. Now, maybe that's a lie. Maybe they do. But you know what? We've had stadiums around for before I was born. They had football stadiums, basketball, all of these things. The information is in. This should not be a discussion anymore. We should absolutely positively know, is this a real economic benefit for the community or is it not? And I don't see how it is. Because, okay, you have a football stadium. You've spent billions of dollars. How many games do they have there? Football season is not all year round. So how does this happen? Well, and then whenever football season is in, what do they have, like one football game a week? It's like, are you kidding me? How does that even pan out? And then they don't even have to pay the money back because they just got this money from the government? And then all these profits that they make, it's like, are you kidding me? And they keep all the money.
Mayor call.
Simply the best facility in the world.
Liar. Liar.
Do the people of Atlanta at least get a cut of the restaurant and merchandising revenue? No.
Falcons control all the money for parking, restaurants, and merchandising.
Sweet deals like that are not unusual.
12 teams have actually turned a profit on stadium subsidies alone. Yes, they received more money than it cost to build their facilities.
So taxpayers, most of whom never attend a game, subsidize billionaires.
Why? Where is the accountability for all these politicians? I don't care what's going on. I don't care if it's this guy here who's from Minnesota, who's going around yelling at people. And recently in Texas, the Democrats fled our state and they went to Washington. And they spent millions in the process. 2 private jets and took a bunch of selfies, and I understand that to agree. And the money that they spent, it was a mix of what they got from the Democratic Party, but some of it was also taxpayer funded. And it's like, who out there has a job where you could do that? Where you decided, you know what, I'm not going to go to work. I'm not going to do my job, and I'm not just going to leave the place that I work. I'm going to leave the whole damn state. I've never known a job like that. If I ever did that with one of my previous jobs, I would have been fired. I would have lost that job. They should have been fired. At the minimum. They should have been fined too for the money that they spent. For the taxpayer money. It's like you owe some money. That money needs to go back. Where's the accountability? Because it's lies. It's a bunch of lies. It should be that they should have to be forced to stay there. And that if they don't, then okay, well then you abstain. And nothing you say or do matters because you decided not to show up for work today. So we're going to proceed without you. They should be there making their case as to why whatever it is that they want to do is the right thing. But that means work, you know? You have to have your talking points. You have to know what the hell it is that you're talking about. You should have some evidence to be able to back up why it is that you want to do what you want to do. Fleeing is not that. I don't give a damn what the people in Washington say about what we're doing here in Texas. And I'm not going to show this video, but here Alan West on Temple
as governor of Texas.
He's talking about this. He's talking about how it's the states that hold more power than the federal government. And that's the way that it was designed, and it's the way that it should be. Because what you have happening is that you have a small group of people who want to propose their way of thinking and their living to everyone else. And it's like, that's not the way that it is. What's going over there in Silicon Valley is not what's going on over here with the farming and ranching in Texas. I don't care. They're two different things. Anyways, I made this video long enough for now. I hope you've enjoyed. And if you've understood this and you too are tired of being lied to, give the video a like, give it a thumbs up, subscribe and become a member. Catch you again later. Thanks for watching. Bye.